It's 9 p.m. You're on the couch. You didn't do anything that hard today. You sat at a desk. You answered some messages. You came home. So why do you feel like you got hit by a truck? You slept 8 hours last night. You'll sleep 8 hours tonight. And tomorrow you'll wake up and feel exactly like this again. Heavy, foggy, running on empty before the day even starts. You've started to wonder if something's wrong with you. If maybe you're just lazy, or weak, or broken in some quiet way everyone else figured out how to fix. So tonight, let's actually answer it. Why are you tired all the time, even when you sleep? Because the real reason isn't what you think. And it is absolutely not your fault. First, the thing you need to hear before anything else. It's not just you. If you feel this, you are in enormous company. Millions of people lying on millions of couches right now, exhausted for no reason they can point to. This flat, bone-deep tiredness has quietly become one of the most common ways to feel alive in the modern world. So whatever this is, it is not some personal failing of yours. It's something happening to you. And once you see how it works, it stops feeling like a character flaw and starts feeling like what it actually is, a completely sane reaction to an insane situation. So let's clear up the biggest myth first. You think tired is tired. One thing, fix it with sleep. But there are actually two completely different kinds of tired, and sleep only fixes one of them. The first kind is simple, physical sleepiness. You were awake too long, your body wants to shut down, you sleep, you're fine. That's the kind sleep was built for. But the second kind is different. The second kind is a deep, dragging, full body and full mind depletion, and it has almost nothing to do with how many hours you spend unconscious. This is the tired you can't sleep your way out of. And here's the cruel twist. Most of us are exhausted from the second kind and keep trying to fix it with more of the first. We keep prescribing ourselves sleep for a problem that isn't a sleep problem. So no wonder it never works. So if it's not lack of sleep, what is it? To understand that, you have to meet the thing running the show inside you. Deep in your brain sits an ancient alarm system. It is hundreds of thousands of years old, and it has exactly one job: keep you alive by watching for danger. When it senses a threat, it floods your body with stress chemicals like cortisol and adrenaline, flips you into fight or flight, and gets you ready to run from the tiger or fight for your life. It's brilliant. It kept your ancestors breathing. There's just one problem. It cannot tell the difference between a tiger and your inbox. And that is the whole tragedy in one sentence. Your alarm system was built for short, sharp bursts of danger. Sprint away from the lion, then calm down, rest, recover. Danger, then safety. Spike, then off. But your modern life never sends the off signal. The unread emails, the bills, the deadline, the notification buzzing on the table, the vague dread about money that hums under everything. None of it is a tiger you can outrun. Therefore, your body never gets to finish the stress cycle. So that ancient alarm just stays on, quietly, all day, every day. A low, constant hum of something is wrong, stay ready, that never, ever switches off. And running that alarm 24/7 burns through an unbelievable amount of energy. So now picture your body trying to recover from that. It can't, because real recovery only happens when your nervous system flips into the opposite mode, the rest and digest state, where it finally feels safe enough to repair you. But it can only flip there when it gets the message that the danger has passed. And the danger never passes. Therefore, you end up in the strangest, most modern state of all, too activated to rest, too drained to function. Exhausted, but wired. Lying in bed at midnight, body like lead, mind sprinting in circles. You're not failing to relax. Your body has literally forgotten how, because you haven't given it a single moment that felt safe enough to try. And here's where it gets worse, because of what you do next. At the end of a day like that, you are running on fumes, and you crave a reward. Something easy, something nice. So you reach for the most available comfort on earth, the glowing phone. And your brain lights up with a little hit of dopamine, the chemical of wanting, of one more, of just a bit more. It feels like rest. It feels like you're finally switching off. But here's the betrayal. Scrolling isn't rest. It's input. More noise, more comparison, more tiny decisions, more little jolts to that same overworked alarm system. So you sit there for 2 hours relaxing in a way that quietly drains you even further. Therefore, you go to bed even more depleted than when you sat down. You tried to recover, and the recovery made it worse. Now layer on one more thing, the part nobody counts. You think you did nothing today, but your brain doesn't measure muscle, it measures decisions. And from the second you woke up, it was making thousands of them. What to reply? What to wear? What to worry about? 12 open browser tabs in your head at all times. Notifications hijacking your attention every few minutes. Each one a tiny tax on a battery that started the day half-charged. This is mental load, and it is invisible and relentless. You didn't dig ditches, but you ran a CPU at 100% for 16 hours straight. Therefore, of course, you're fried. You weren't resting. You were just tired in a way that doesn't show up in a mirror. And then comes the weekend, your big plan to catch up. You sleep in until noon. You wait to feel restored, and you wake up groggy, almost more tired, the day already half gone and the dread of Monday creeping in. Because you can't repay this kind of debt with a lie-in. The nervous system doesn't want extra hours of unconsciousness. It wants the one thing your whole life is built to deny it. A stretch of time where it actually, genuinely feels safe. And that brings us to the quietest, saddest part of all of this. Rest has stopped feeling like rest. Your days off feel empty instead of free. You're not living your life. You're recovering from it, and never quite catching up. Just managing. Just getting through. And somewhere in there, the spark, the part of you that used to be curious and excited and alive, went quiet. That's the real cost. Not the tiredness. The flatness. So, take a breath. Because here's the turn. Here's the thing that actually changes how you see all of this. Your exhaustion is not a malfunction. It is a perfectly sane, healthy response to a pace of life that is genuinely unsustainable. Think about that. You are not broken. You are a normal human being having the correct reaction to carrying far too much for far too long, with almost no moment of true safety. The tiredness isn't the enemy. The tiredness is the messenger. It's the most honest part of you, tapping you on the shoulder, saying, "This is too much, and you deserve a moment of peace." And once you understand it's a safety problem, not a sleep problem, the way out finally makes sense. You don't need more sleep. You need to send your body the "you're safe now" signal it's been starving for. And the things that do that are almost insultingly simple, and almost the exact opposite of scrolling. A slow walk with no phone. Staring out a window. A few minutes where you do something gentle and boring and low. Real quiet. Actual stillness. The unglamorous, unexciting stuff that lets your nervous system finally exhale and slip into repair mode. Rest, it turns out, isn't the most stimulating thing you can find. It's the calmest. Doing less, on purpose, is the most productive thing your tired body can possibly do. But before any of that, the most important thing is this. The fact that you're so tired doesn't mean you're weak. It means the opposite. You're tired because you carry a lot. Because you keep showing up, to the job, to the people who need you, to 100 small responsibilities, long after your battery hit empty. You worry because you care. You push because you're trying. Being this exhausted in a world that asks this much of you isn't a sign that you're failing. It's proof that you've been strong for a very, very long time, probably without anyone noticing, including you. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just a good person who is tired and who is allowed to rest. So tonight, look at that glowing phone in your hand, the one promising rest it can't give. And maybe, just for tonight, set it down. Look out the window. Let the alarm finally hear the words it's been waiting all day for. You're safe now. You can stop running. You did enough today. You are enough. And if any of this felt like I was reading your mind, you're really not alone in it. There's a whole crowd of us, tired in the exact same way, figuring this out together. So stick around. We make these for nights like this. Take care of yourself. And get some real rest, the kind that actually counts.